Am I the asshole for socially denying a woman a seat next to me on the bus? I ride a pretty sparsely ridden bus from my work to my college. When I say sparse, I mean it's never even close to half full. There are always rows of empty seats at the time that I ride it in the afternoon. I use a light linen bag for work, and I don't want to put it on the floor or on my lap, so I put it on the seat next to me. All the seats are pairs, 2 seats next to each other. I don't mind anyone sitting next to me, but the bus is never close to full, so I use the space for my bag. Yesterday, during my commute, a lady got on the bus and grimaced at me. She gestured for me to remove my bag so she could sit next to me. As usual, there were so many empty seats. I wasn't sitting in a disabled reserved area. There were seats closer to the door. But whatever. I'm not confrontational. I removed my bag so she could sit. I sort of rolled my eyes when she sat down next to me and sighed. Not to be obvious, but just because I got off an 8-hour shift, I was tired and wanted my own space, and she didn't have to sit next to me. She clearly noticed. She then said, "You need to learn some manners." After that, I got up and moved to another seat, but the whole thing has been bothering me for a day. Did I really lack manners? It just feels like she sat there to teach me a lesson when she could have sat anywhere else. Not the asshole. Bag and seat. No intention on moving it. Empty seats all over the bus. Find your ass somewhere else to sit and leave other people alone. It sounds like you might have an occasionally anxious mindset. Rest assured that you did nothing wrong, hun. It was very inconsiderate for that lady to intentionally invade your personal space and demand she sit next to you. Yes, this is a public space and setting, so most of the time there isn't enough space to be left personally to yourself. And the only one lacking manners and common courtesy was her, and not you. Not the asshole. If it happens again, just say sure, stand up, grab your bag, and find another seat. Especially if they passed empty seats to get to your adjacent empty seat. This is the move? Life's too short to waste a thought on someone looking for drama. Not the asshole. This has happened to me too. These people are just on a power trip. I just get up and move to another empty seat. If I get on any kind of transport and there are empty seats everywhere, I don't go and sit directly next to someone. It's weird. Yes, it's a power trip to teach you a lesson. Best way to handle it? Wait till the person gets fully settled, then get up and move to an empty seat. Probably should not say checkmate after your winning move. This happened to me the other day. I was on the left of a 3-seat bench, bag on middle, empty, right? Some crazy guy tried getting the one right next to me. I said there's an empty right there. I got lectured and called names. Obvious, not the asshole. I look at it as what I call the urinal philosophy. You don't go right next to someone else if you have a ton of urinals open. Am I the asshole for not babysitting my ex's children? I share a 12-year-old son with my ex. We broke up amicably when he was 3 months old. We got along fine just after. We were both young and never really worked together, and I have zero animosity toward her for the end of our relationship. We co-parented our son well over most of the last 12 years, but for 3/4 years now we've had some issues. Following our breakup, my ex has had 5 other children by 5 different men, and to the best of my knowledge, not one of the men is involved in the life of their child. My ex is raising her other 5 kids alone without help. And as of 2 years ago, she lives in a different city, and I have custody of our son, with her getting monthly visitation and more time in the summer. I used to see my ex's kids occasionally, and I try to be kind to them. But the more kids she had, the more she would ask for me to help with them. And I put a boundary down because I did not want to encourage her to keep having more children and to rely on me for financial or childcare assistance. It started with her wanting money for her kids' birthdays or a medical appointment, and turned into requests for me to take kids overnight or for me to babysit for her. She was made homeless 2 years ago after her former landlord sold the house she was renting, and the new owner did not intend to continue renting it out. She left it too late to make other plans, and when she was made homeless, I was awarded temporary custody of our son, which turned to full custody once she moved to a different city. Now my ex is asking me to babysit her kids during the day, now that school's out, and I told her, no. My reasons are as follows. It's a 3-hour drive from her to me, and I don't believe she's going to make that drive to and from here every day to pick up the kids, which means I would end up with her kids overnight. She also expects this for free, which is another reason. And finally, she is pregnant again, so doing this now only adds to the concern about her leaning on me to be a father to the kids she had with other men. When I said no, we had a fight over this, and she told me to think of it as showing my son how to be a kind and caring person, and giving her kids the chance to see him more than they do. She told me I need to man up and help her as the father of her first kid. And she laid a huge guilt trip on me, which I think has made me question my no now. Am I the asshole? Not the asshole. Her inability to use birth control isn't your fucking problem. While it would be nice for your child to see their siblings, it's not your responsibility to care for children you had no hand in conceiving. Keep that line in the sand or you'll become more and more liable to kids that aren't yours. That's another concern of mine, especially if she does just leave them with me for days at a time. Plus, it's a big ask to go from 1 kid to 6, even if I didn't fear she would dump them on me. I do feel somewhat bad that I can't bring myself to step up and do more. It's such a mess, and I wish she wasn't putting so much of this on me. If she tries to dump them on you, you call CPS and the police and have them removed right away. Do not, under any circumstances, ever accept responsibility for any of her other kids for any length of time. Never. Not the asshole. No one wants to watch that many kids, period. 1, your job is to show your child stability. 2, you teach your kid kindness and caring by showing him how to be on a daily basis, not by babysitting. 3, there is no way you should spread your resources and time so thin that your child is lost in the mix. 4, your ex needs to be responsible for her decisions and kids. 5, any burden you take on will negatively affect your kid. Judging from her decisions, she is not the pillar of morality whose opinions should matter to you. She is damaging her kids, yet still having more. Protect your child. Well, that's another episode of Am I the Asshole in the books. I really appreciate all of you who made it this far into the video. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, it would really help the channel out a lot if you gave the video a thumbs up, subscribe, or leave a comment down below. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.